Hello everybody and welcome to my very first YouTube video. My name is Julie and I love books, so I decided to create a booktube channel because why not? We're a lot here talking about books, but let's just add my spice to it. And my very first YouTube video is going to be my August wrap up. Now this girl has read a lot of books in August. Don't ask me why, how. I feel like I had a life in August, like I did things, but then I look at my August wrap up and I'm like, I probably read too much. I read 13 books and I'm here to talk about them all. The first book I read was Jade Fargo by June C.L. Tan. I'm very sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong. I'm not going to go in depth into any of these books because I don't want to spoil you. This book was an ARC that I received. It will be published in October 12th, so not out yet. Give it 3 stars. This book is about Anne and Alton, who are 2 young people in the China Empire. It's kind of a China mythology retelling. There is Anne. She's no one. She's just like there. She's poor and she struggles in life. Then there is Alton, who is the lost heir of the empire. He also struggles a lot. Not very easy for him. And he is trying to get his empire back. And Anne might actually be the one who can help him because she is not no one. But that you will find out in the book. I'm very bad at this. I give it 3 stars. I really like it actually. I quite enjoyed it. There's romance obviously in it and it was quite nice. Like not amazing but quite nice. Why did I give it 3 stars only if I liked it? It's because I think it was kind of hard to get into the book. Like I really was into the book at 50% of it, which is like halfway through it, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, it's great. I think it's a bit too long to get really into the book, but the plot was really good. I liked the characters. I recommend you this book still. Second book I read this month was The Spanish Love Deception. This book was so good. I am really diving into romance a bit more this year. I'm not used to romance. I read a lot of fantasy, as you can see, but I've been enjoying my romance lately and this book was part of it. 5 stars. Amazing. Chef's kiss. Everything is so perfect. Aaron, I love him so much. Give me an Aaron, please. He was so amazing. Just this book, I feel like you've all heard about it by now. Everybody knows about The Spanish Love Deception. So the girl is named Catalina and she is working at this thing. What is she doing? I don't know. She's just working. And there's this guy, Aaron, who she doesn't like. He said something not really nice to her, so she doesn't like him. She has to go to her sister's wedding. In her sister's wedding there is her ex-boyfriend, and so she is kind of nervous going back there, and she decides to do something really stupid. She says to her mom that she has a boyfriend and she's coming with him, and she doesn't have a boyfriend, so she has to find someone. And guess who comes? Aaron! And he's like, I can be your boyfriend. So they have to go to Spain together. Yeah, just that. Just a big fat ass fake dating trope. Amazing. Loved it. Characters are amazing. The plot is amazing. I want this book in Aaron's point of view. I need it. Elena, give it to me. Give it to me. I want it. Next book I read is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. Give it 5 stars, I think. Oh my god. What a girl. I loved it. I loved it. This book is amazing. I absolutely recommend it to you. If you haven't read it, go pick it up, read it, thank me later. It's this girl who is in a prison. Well, let me check the name of the kingdom. Wenderall. She's in like the most famous prison of all time in this kingdom, which is like a prison for the most wanted criminals. She's not a criminal. She was arrested with her dad because her dad was suspected of treason against the crown. She ended up in the prison as well. She miraculously survives this prison, and one day there is this guy who arrives in the prison. His name is Jared. Jared is blonde, and this girl was very happy because this girl loves blonde character. So this boy arrives in the prison, and nearly after his arrival there is a girl who arrives as well. This woman is suspected to be the rebel queen, and this rebel queen is here for her trial by ordeal. This woman is barely alive, so Kiva decides to represent the queen for her trial by ordeal. Gave it 5 stars. The cliffhanger at the end got me like, what? what? It's so well written. The characters are so amazing. I really love Jaren. Really love Kiva. This book is amazing. I love the world building. The building of the prison was amazing. Really, I loved it. It was so well executed. I'm gonna move to the other book I read this month, which is the second book of the Prison Healer series, which is not out yet. Let me check. It's gonna be released on the 12th of October. I'm not gonna go in depth with this one because I don't want to spoil any events. The character's development was amazing. I loved it. You discover new characters. These are like chef's kiss. The only thing I didn't really like about it is that it kind of build up a love triangle. I don't know if it's just me or if it's like the way it's written, but I kind of like shipped Kiva with another character, and that was weird for me. I was like, I just like her with Jaren. But then there was this other character and I was kind of into him as well. I gave The Gilded Cage 4 stars. Next book I read this month of August was Kingdom of the Wicked by Terry Maniscalco. This book has become one of my favorite books of all time. It was just so perfect. And Wrath, just Wrath. This man is like perfect. This book is about Emilia. Emilia is a witch. In her family there are a lot of witches and she is one of them, her and her twin. I don't remember if it's her grandmother or her aunt or something like that, but there's someone in her family who has always warned them against Wrath and against the Princess of Hell. And one day her sister doesn't come home. She's dead. And Emilia is trying to find out why and how she died, and in her journey she meets with Wrath, Princess of Hell, and well, they kind of end up working together on the case of her sister's death. That's the plot. I give it 5 stars. It was so good. It was so good. The relationship between Emilia and Wrath is like so enemies to lovers. It's really enemies to lovers, and I'm a sucker for enemies to lovers. This trope is the best one. I love friends to lovers as well. I love all the tropes. This is really enemies to lovers, so if you're really into that, you will love that. Plot, amazing. The whole story around the Princess of Hell was so great. The characters were amazing. Emilia, she's such a badass bitch, you know? Wrath, obviously, is so amazing. Such an interesting character. He is really mysterious and dark. I definitely recommend you this book. The second book will be out on the 26th of October, I think. And I can't wait because the second book is gonna be a new adult book. So y'all know what that means. There is gonna be a masquerade ball and a one-bed trap. Here you have the first book and you should definitely read it if you haven't yet. We're going into the very problematic moment. I read From Look Up With Love by Mariana Zapata. I was really excited about this book because a lot of people were talking about it and they were all like, it's so good, it's amazing, you have to read it. I ended up giving it 2 stars. I'm sorry. So there's this girl, Jasmine, who is a nice skater. Ice skater? Is that how you say it? Ice skater? So yeah, Jasmine is a nice skater, but her career is kind of dead. Like, she is not successful. She doesn't do competition anymore. And then there is this guy, Ivan, who is the most famous ice skater of all time. He's so successful. He's a champion. He gives her an opportunity to come back into ice skating with the proposition of pair ice skating with her. So this is the main story. It's enemies to lovers. Jasmine doesn't like Ivan. Ivan doesn't like Jasmine. The two have to work together. It's complicated at first, and then they kind of grew closer to each other. What I didn't like about this book, I felt like the relationship between Jasmine and Ivan kind of came out from nowhere. Like, it just happened, like, boom, it's here. I actually like him. And it was like, but how? Why? When? The page just before that was you saying, I hate him. And then it's like, oh no, he's my best friend. I was kind of confused about it. I felt like it was too rushed, but at the same time it's a slow burn, so it's not rushed that much. This is the main reason why I didn't like it. I feel like if you don't like the romance happening in a romance, then it won't work. It's a romance. You're here for the romance. If you don't like the romance, then no, it's not good. The plot I didn't really like either. At the end, I was just telling myself, come on, just finish it so you can read something else. So yeah, 2 stars. I didn't like it. You should definitely still read it because maybe you're gonna like it, because a lot of people do like it. So, you know, just my opinion. Didn't like it. Next book I read is another 2 stars reading. Was it 2 stars? 2 stars. And I am really disappointed in this one because that was one of my most anticipated reading of the year. I was so waiting for this book and it disappointed me. This book is 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. It's the Fargo edition, which is even more shameful. Okay, I'm sorry I was interrupted. I think the setup might have changed a bit. I'm sorry if it did, but I was talking about 6 Crimson Cranes. This book is about Shiori, who is the daughter of the Emperor. And, well, she has a little problem with her stepmother, who curses her. She has to wear a bowl and she can't speak to anyone. So she ends up in the far north of the country. And, well, she has to find her brothers, who were turned into cranes. So, yeah. That's that. There is a romance in here. I was so extremely disappointed with the romance because it was plain. Very plain. The boy is just cute. It's very nice. And she's like, oh, I don't like him. Then she's like, oh, yeah, I like him. I mean, he has done nothing wrong in his whole life. Obviously, you're gonna like him. And the plot wasn't that great. It was very expectable. Like, everything that happens in here is very expectable. The nasty ones are the nasty ones. And the good ones are the good ones. You like him. He's a good one. You hate him. He's a bad one. Nothing. No cliffhanger. Just a plain story. I was expecting something more. And it did not happen. Now, next book I read, Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. I had the arc thanks to Negalley. I'm not gonna go into depths into it because same. There is the first book, These Violent Delights. It's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, so you definitely have to check the first book because it's amazing. I'm not gonna say anything about the plot because I don't want to spoil anyone who hasn't read These Violent Delights yet, but if you've read These Violent Delights, you know where it ends. This book, I felt like I was reading Shakespeare, to be honest. Chloe Gong's writing is one of the best of her generation, I think. It's just so perfect. I feel like she loves to play with the words and it shows in her book. It was amazing. I give it 5 stars. Everything was so perfect, okay? The plot was amazing. Once again, the characters were so well developed. I loved it. You get to know a bit more about Marshall, which was like, my baby. This book was amazing. I just don't want to spoil anyone, so I'm not gonna talk about it too much, but read it when it's out. Next book I read was Bitch Read by Emily Henry. As I was saying a bit earlier on, I am diving into romance a bit more, and I obviously had to read this book because everyone was talking about it. Did it disappoint? No. It was amazing. I give this book 4 stars out of 5. It was so great. I kind of annotated it a bit. I just absolutely loved it. It's about January, who is a hopeless romantic. Her dad dies, and so she discovers that he had a whole secret life. It kind of ruins her idea of romance. And she's this very successful author, romance author. She actually has to write a book before the end of the summer. With all of what happened in her life, it's kind of hard for her to write a book about romance. So she goes to her dad's house, which she inherited when he died. So she goes there, and there she meets Gus, I don't know how you say that, and she actually already knew him from college, and he was like her biggest enemy because he was a writer as well, and he's a very successful writer, but of literary fiction. And he kind of tells her that romance is a bad genre, and she wants to prove him wrong. So what do? They decide to exchange the genre. He has to write a romance, she has to write a literary fiction. And here is that, how they will spend their summer together. I loved it. I loved how it talked about very sensitive subjects, as secret lives, but in a very subtle way. There are some heavy moments, but it's still not really heavy to the point that you feel bad about it. And there are some amazing quotes in here. The characters are amazing. January is so funny and she's so cute, and Gus is really a mysterious, dark character. You know, I like it. But he still has his very soft moments that I love. This book is amazing. This romance is just so amazing. I loved it from the beginning to the end. You have to read it. The next one was Shatter Me by Terry Murphy. It's a novel from the Shadow Me series. I think it's like the 4.5. This book is from Kenji's point of view. It was so nice being in his head because he's such a funny character, and I feel like he's kind of the favorite character of a lot of person here. So that was really cute. You get snippets of his relationship with Nazira. I'm so bad with names. Nazira, I think it is. You get a bit of snippets of their relationship, which is so great. It's so nice. I give it 3 stars out of 5 because it wasn't exceptional either, you know? It was like, great. It was a nice reading. It's 60 pages, so not a lot going on in here. But it was still good, you know? Okay, last book I read this month was Hunting Prince Dracula by Kerry Maniscalco. She's the author of Kingdom of the Wicked. I already read Stalking Jack the Ripper, which is the first book in this series. And this is the second book of the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. So it's Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell who have new adventures, and this time in Romania, the country of Dracula. And they are in this castle to study medicine. And, well, things did not go as planned, you know? And they have to work on a murder case again, together. I loved this book. It was amazing. I give it 4 stars out of 5 because at the beginning of it I wasn't really invested in the story. It's a very long start. Then when it's there, it's there. And Thomas and Audrey served this book. They are amazing. They are everything to me. I love them so much. And in this book, if you love Audrey and Thomas and you still haven't read Hunting Prince Dracula, you have to, because you will be very pleased. Not gonna spoil anything, I swear. So these were all the books I read this month of August. I swear I did things other than reading in August. I know it doesn't look like I had, but I have. So tell me what you read this month. Have you read any of the books I mentioned in this video? And if you have, let me know what you thought of it. I'm really interested. So I was editing and I just realized I got cut off while saying goodbye to you, which is really rude. So here I am saying goodbye. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. That would be very nice. If you would like to subscribe, then subscribe. I will be back very soon for another video, and if you have any video ideas you'd like me to do, then let me know and I will do it for you. Thank you very much, and have a nice reading, and we'll see each other very soon.